Okay, so welcome to Gwent once again, guys. I'm just going to be doing a little bit of gameplay here. It's going to be using my Nilfgaardian deck, which is basically a free-to-play Nilfgaard deck that I've slowly amassed through the usage of scrap, the material that you build up after winning a few rounds and a few games. So as you can see, it's using the Mangonels as its core kind of focus. It wants to get maximum synergy with them, simply because the base starting Nilfgaardian leader, Emir, has revealed 3 random cards in the opposing hand as his leader ability. So this, revealing 3 cards, coupled with the Mangonel, which does 2 damage basically, whenever a card is revealed, can get pretty incredibly fun. Just in terms of just stuff blowing up, especially when you have 3 Mangonels turn 1. You know, it's not too unusual for opponents just to give you the round after that point, because they know as soon as you use your leader ability, you are going to be hitting them for, what is it in total? It's 6 per Mangonel with the leader ability, so that's 18 damage, which is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts, to say the least. And on top of the Mangonels, we've got 3 Rot Tossers. This is one of the most powerful Nilfgaardian units. It was recently nerfed in the latest patch. What it does is it throws a, let's just put it up here, it throws this cow carcass onto the opposing lane wherever you want, and after 2 turns, at the end of the second turn, it blows up and kills the weakest non-gold units on that row. So essentially you can target a row and destroy certain units, the weakest ones, which is really powerful if you have other control cards such as Alzur's Thunder to kind of improve what unit it's going to hit. So a good play around the Rot Tosser is to play a weak creature that is weaker than the card that you want to save on a row that has a cow carcass thrown on it, as that makes the cow carcass kill the weaker creature and not the original creature that it was intended for. But if you just, you know, Thunder or accidentally Mangonel the weaker creature, then suddenly the cow carcass is back to killing the bigger creature that it was intended for. So yeah, these cards are insanely powerful, and the wording on them, if we take a closer look, is especially powerful, as these can hit multiple weak units. So say there's a whole bunch of foglets on a row summoned with fog. If you throw a cow carcass on that row, it will kill every single foglet there, as long as there isn't a 1 strength unit that is weaker than those 2 strength foglets. So this ability really can scale quite incredibly at most stages of the game. We've got 1 combat engineer just in case we can keep a Mangonel on the board for a second round. Because we do have Alchemists in the deck, which do reveal a card in the opponent's hand, which is further reveals synergy. So keeping a Mangonel on the board from round 1 into round 2, or round 2 into round 3, is definitely quite powerful. We also have Vanhemar, I think it's pronounced, who gains 1 strength whenever a card is revealed in either hand, which is just really powerful in a reveal deck, I think. Of course, you know, spoilers, I guess. This is still a free-to-play account for all intents and purposes. I've yet to sink any actual hard real-world money into this account. I will at some point. I'm just trying to find a good spot to do that. But yeah, so these are A, not the best cards for this deck, but B, you know, I'm doing the best with what I've got. But it's still a pretty fun deck if you're just getting into Gwent and you want to try out the Nilfgaardian faction. This is a fairly fun deck with some really cool synergies. So I got lucky and unpacked Yennefer the Conjurer from a keg, who, despite being nerfed with 1 strength in the latest positioning patch, she is still an absolute beast of a gold card, so that is pretty sick. I've also got these 3 emissaries who are spying cards or disloyal cards, who can be placed on the opponent's row, their ranged row here, and they basically pull a bronze unit from your deck and put another one back, like randomly shuffled into your deck. So essentially this thins out your deck and makes future draws in future rounds just more powerful, improves deck consistency, all that good stuff. And 3 of these combined with the Nauzicaa Brigade it's got a lot of powerful synergy, as you can use Nauzicaa Brigade after playing Emissary to remove the Emissary and make Nauzicaa Brigade gain 4 base strength, making it in total an 11 strength swing on the board, which is, again, very powerful. So that's another pretty cool synergy. Black Infantry Arbalests are just kind of just good cards from what I'm seeing. If you're playing against dwarf decks a lot, they can quite often kill the defenders and all the buffed units before they get completely out of hand. And to round out, we've just got the legendary card that you start off with, the premium Geralt with no ability. It's just a beat stick, 12 stats. You know, that's pretty solid when you don't have much of a collection. And very similar thing with the Nilfgaardian Knight. It has reveal synergy. Whilst it does reveal a card in your own hand, it's still got pretty decent stats, and the extra reveal effect really is nice for this kind of deck, given all of the Mangonels and Vanhemar. So let's dive straight into a game, shall we? Hopefully the servers, hopefully the servers are actually working, because they were a bit dodgy this morning. I don't know if they were experiencing problems for everyone, but yeah, let's hop into a game. Now, I did recently alter this deck to add another couple of clear lights, just so I have options against weather decks.
Onward! Attack!
Against full
Patience
test.
is not a virtue
Northern
I am
Realms.
known to have.
So then, let us see what we have in the starting hand. We've got 2 emissaries, 2 Nauzicaa Brigades. So you want to find, if you have an emissary, kind of keeping Nauzicaa Brigades to counteract the emissaries, 2 strength for the opponent effect, is definitely nice. So 2 of those and 2 of those, that's really nice synergy there. 2 Mangonels, that's perfect. You do want those in the first round. Vanhemar is sort of, second and third round as a card. You want to play him after you've played all of your effects, so I'm tempted to ditch him, to be honest. I might also ditch First Light. Okay, Combat and Engineer, so we can keep a Mangonel on the board if we want to. We can also keep Vanhemar, so maybe we can just play him this round. That might not be too bad, to be honest. And I'll keep Geralt because he's just big. So yeah, not a terrible hand. Reinforced Trebuchet. Every turn, remove 1 strength from a random opposing non-god unit. Yeah, they buffed this to be every turn now, so I think it used to be every turn remove 2 strength, then it got nerfed to 2 strength, but every 2 turns, or maybe even 3, and now it's back to every turn but remove 1 strength. So that's kind of neat, seeing that in action. So we'll start plonking down the Mangonels. And this is protected against Scorch because this would hit that. So if he uses Scorch, which is a card that kills the strongest unit on the battlefield, or units, he'll hit just his own Trebuchet, which is obviously good for us. So the game plan will probably be just dumping 2 Mangonels on the board and then using our leader ability to reveal 3 cards and do a ton of damage from the Mangonels. He might be considering using Alzur's Thunder, which is a just 7 strength damage card.
I'm itching for that battle.
Okay, he's not going to go for it. So we will just follow up with a second Mangonel. Seems fine. What will he do? So yeah, I've kind of just been playing a few rounds of Gwent every day pretty much. It's just nice and relaxing. It's nice to have just a CCG on the back burner to play when you don't really have anything else that you want to commit to. So I guess I'll just do this. I can't see anything else I really want to do, to be honest. So we'll start with this.
Patience is not a virtue I am known to have.
Okay, pretty sick. So you can see the huge power swing I just did there. Did a ton of damage and revealed cards in his hand. As you can see, at this rank, this low rank, we are playing with a beginner deck against a beginner deck. As I am fairly sure that competitive decks do not run prize winning cow, as much as I wish that they would. So if you're not familiar, Northern Realms have a passive ability that whenever a unit turns into a gold unit, or whenever they play a gold unit, it gains 2 base strength. So there we go. Well, not base strength, but just strength in general, as there is a difference between gaining base strength and strength. So I think I'm just going to roll with the Alchemist, do another 4 damage. Seems pretty good. Again, protecting us from Scorch. If we hadn't played this and played a weaker creature than these two, he potentially could have Scorched these 2 down. So that is a thing. Okay. What do we do? I'm gonna start with this, I think.
A shame I have no time.
Rot Tosser is probably the best one. Yeah, I'll go for Rot Tosser. So we can throw down the Rot's kind of cow carcass in this lane, and then next turn improve the damage it's gonna do by killing the Emissary that we played, as then the cow carcass will have a good chance at hitting this instead, as this will be classed as the weakest creature on this row, which is what cow carcass does. So, if you're not too sure, Foltest's ability, his leader ability, is basically just copying a bronze unit on your side of the battlefield. So that's why these beginner decks will run just big statted creatures, such as Nilfgaardian Knight, as they do have the option of just throwing this down and then copying it, or buffing it and then copying it, for a whole bunch of stats. Which is definitely quite powerful. So there we go. We get a chance to play our Nauzicaa Brigade, and also improve the damage that our cow can do. Seems fairly solid. Based on how this game is going so far, I think we've got a good chance at winning this first round. We've just got so many stats kind of built up in our hand. We've got 24 here, and this plus this, which is, again, that's 11 strength swing. Call it 9 strength in total, because, you know, that's going to die. And we even get to set up a fairly big board for next turn with our combat engineer, which makes a unit resilient.
But we're broke as shit peddlers!
Which means that when a unit is resilient, it stays on for 1 round, instead of being cleared off the board at the end of the round, which is what normally happens. So you saw there, he actually managed to counter our Rot Tosser by playing a smaller creature on that row, so the cow would kill that instead of one of his 4/4s. Why did I say 4/4? I'm still thinking in terms of like Legends and Faeria and Hearthstone, where we've got health and power, but in this game it's just strength. Man, strange times. So quite clearly we do want to continue contesting, so I'm just going to play Emissary again. Ooh, Alchemist, that's nice. That is very nice.
There's been a mistake. I'm no mage.
So we chose Alchemist because Alchemist could again trigger our 2 Mangonels, as well as buff Vanhemar. So, I guess I just do this. But you can definitely see the sheer power of Trebuchet, because every turn, basically there's been, what, 7-8 turns at this point? Which means that this is done, you know, as well as its initial 6 base strength that you get when you play it, it's done, you know, all that additional damage and essentially removed the power of our cards by quite a bit. So, yeah, very powerful card. What do we do? I think we're just going to play this, commit to winning this round, I think, as we can keep it alive with our combat engineer, which is quite a big deal. Of course, if he has Scorch, as we were talking about earlier, destroying the strongest creature on the battlefield that is not a gold unit, he can just instantly destroy this. But given that he has not played that card, that we don't know what it is yet, I have to imagine it's not Scorch, because I'm fairly sure you would just instantly play that. What does he have? Okay, so we get this round, but we can essentially trick the next round into our favour by creating this resilient creature who will stick around for us, giving us essentially a 12 strength lead in the next round, which is definitely a big deal. And to be fair, it also counteracts the power of the chort that he got from the prize-winning cow. So, what do we have? We've got Geralt, who's just big. I think we ditched First Light, it's not the most powerful of cards. Mangonel is kind of bad as well, to be honest, at this point. So, I could try and contest this round, but the fact that he has a promote in hand is kind of scary, because it means that he has an active counter to Rot Tosser. So there's no guarantee that Rot Tosser will actually kill something. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass this round and force him to play a card. So obviously this will equalize our cards. It'll be 3 cards to 3, as he has to play 1 card to
You one of us or not?
win this round. Oh no, that was a bad play. Now he has to commit 2 cards to win this round. And now he's down 1 card, so we've got a really strong advantage. Cannot complain about that, that is for sure. I think that was Commander's Horn, so if we look at cards played, yeah, I think that was Commander's Horn. Which is I guess that was a fine play, since he's not going to get much value from that now. Okay, what have we got? Emissary. I think we just ditched the Mangonel, because we've used most of our reveal cards at this point. So as I was mentioning when I was explaining the deck, Mangonel's become much worse later in the game, after you've essentially used up all of your reveal synergy cards. So yeah, we'll swap it out for this Arbalest. That is a fairly big creature. Kind of scary. Well, I guess we'll do that. Ooh, I wonder if he gets to promote that. No, he can't. Okay. Well, either way, we forced out the promote, and we've just got so much stats left in our deck that I'm not too worried about this round. It looks like we've got the win just from card advantage. If you've got more cards than your opponent in the last round, then often you can just out-strength them. So as you saw there, the cow carcass could not damage a gold unit, and so yeah, that happened.
Your humble servant.
Okay, so we can just play the biggest thing we find, and we win the game. 29 strength to 25.
Damn it, don't like the look of this. Not bad. Not bad at all.
And there you go, a little bit of a showing of the emote system that they just added in the last patch. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that was a pretty cool... We'll send the good game, give them some extra goodies. There's a little showcase of Gwent gameplay at a very low level. Don't expect any highly competitive gameplay at this point. Although, I am definitely considering buying just 60 packs because... Or I should say 60 kegs. Just because playing with beginner cards does tend to grind after a while. And I do want to try out different cards and just higher level strategies. And what's nice is that CD Projekt Red have confirmed that when they wipe all the accounts, if you have purchased kegs, i.e. card packs, they will give you all the money that you spent straight up back. So if you want, you can just get all of your cards back. Of course, there's going to be the random element of what cards you get from the kegs. But yeah, it's a pretty fair system, so I'm definitely considering just dumping on 60 kegs to boost up our collection. But there you go. Hopefully you found that informative. Once again, into the game of Gwent, currently in closed beta. Yeah, very fun. Feel free to apply, as I'm fairly sure you can still get into the closed beta. There is talk of the open beta happening sometime soon, but yeah, it's a really fun game. I'm having an absolute blast with it so far. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one, as always. Ta-ta.